There are some loud laughs coming from there. I don't know if you can hear them, that's why I pointed it out. Oh my god. I know. Guys, you might get hit with total gibberish, by the way. My dad wants to turn up the volume on his thing because he can't hear it. I can hear it from here, and I'm not even in the room. I'm on the stairs, and all three of them are in that living room, which is down from me. Oh god. Alright. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if you heard that one. Don't ask what happened there. There's a massive population growth here. Well, there was one. Also, Michigan has a massive population growth, but they're 2 billion. Well, specifically 2.15 billion, becoming a whopping 3.42 billion. With more areas becoming more populated. Like up here, back when it was a part of Northland, it was pretty small. But now it's turning into massive cities like this. Like, the biggest city up in the Canada section of Michigan, which you should know what I'm talking about, geography junkies. It's probably like it's probably got like half the population of the capital city, which is the biggest city. Specifically, the Great Lakes area has more people, clearly. Also, in between these episodes, oh, what has happened? new nations keep dropping as well. I think this is peak nation making. That won't count in between episodes 2 and 3 because that is a long gap. Oh, I'm going to put this in the corner. What is going on down there? They're partying without me. They're definitely partying without me. Also, the capital city moves towards I feel like having the capital city in the north is a bad idea because it's very cold up there. But at least it's got some warmth around here, although the capital is within reach of nations right now. And just in case they did find them, they'd probably find them down south. That's why the capital was in the north. But they felt that was inefficient. Now they're putting major cities all over, because in this world, major cities means a military base is usually put there. Which means there's a military base nearly everywhere in West Mexico. By the way, West Mexico is South Michigan, but they just changed their name after a massive war with Michigan because they felt like they were more connected to Mexico then. Also, I'm gonna do power rankings. Power rankings. Yeah. So Michigan and Tremont are gonna obviously be 1 and 2 because they are very much the most populated by a long shot as well. Because I did say that in a failed attempt for the 3rd episode, which I ended up saving, that they both had 2 billion, and now Michigan has 3 billion after a massive population growth. But Michigan and Tremont are by far 1 and 2. Like, no one can reach their military. Michigan is definitely a long shot from Tremont though, as well. I do got to say. Then number 3, I would say, is probably England. Because their continuity into war, I don't know if I use that in the right context. I can't speak today anyway. But their involvement in the war, helping Poland, meant that they'd get a bigger military. And that military ended up being number 1. Well, number 3, not number 1. Number 1's Michigan. And number 4's Coastland, which is not obvious looking at the map. They are pretty big. Then number 5, very surprisingly, is Michigan. Well, not Michigan. West Mexico. See, I get these 3 interchangeably messed up. Especially calling this one South Michigan as well, because that was its old name. But West Mexico I will definitely grow into it if I don't change it in the next 3 episodes because of a war that happens between these two. But West Mexico's number 5, surprisingly. Ew, chill, I need to fix this. And then... oh, I need to add major cities here for these 3. I would argue number 6 is North Tremina, but I want to put that a bit higher, possibly past West Mexico and maybe Coastland. But I think it's best to put them at number 6, I would say. Then 7's actually Poland, because they were on the winning side of the war. So Poland 6. Wait, no, Tremina's 6, right? Yeah, Tremina's 6, Poland 7. Then, surprisingly, even though they were a loser, Northland ended up being 8 for military. Probably because they moved all their military up here. After they had to move up here, especially with their capital. Because they moved that onto the only coastal city they even had. That was fit to be our capital. Because it was the only major city up there. But then I'd say number 9 would probably be Jaya. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. Mainly because of the fact that they've got so many major cities, so they have so many military bases where they can train their military at. But I would argue Mexico should be number 8, Northland's number 9, and Jaya's number 10. But I didn't even include Texas. They were 12. Yeah, there's another nation stronger. And that's actually Redjid. See, they were on the winning side, I think. Yeah, they were on the winning side of the war, so they ended up getting a big boost in strength from that. Because the allies helped them get a bigger military. Also, don't ask what's going on in Poland and why there's major cities there, even though nobody's even discovered that land. Don't ask what happened there. Then I'd say I'll go up to 15. I would say number 13 is Tronobrook. Then 14, surprisingly though, it's Zaret. They were actually hurt though. Second worst in the war. Well, third worst. Second worst goes to Landland, and then obviously West Mexico would get first. Hurt by the war. There's one fact, West Mexico was number 3 before this massive war happened. They dropped down to 5, which is not bad. Because they beat their ever-living hell out of Beckmarch. And they are actually just a little bigger than West Mexico. I mean, a little smaller. Wait, did I say a little smaller? Oh, I can't even. But, you can tell I'm tired. So, Zaret's 13th somehow. I would say Alton's 14th. And then a very surprising 15th spot goes to Beckmarch. Now, Landland ended up being 16th on the list, I'm just saying. But we're not going as far as 15 now. Well, 16, I guess, because I did go past 15. A new country has formed. But it blocks coastlands expanding. So, coastlands like, oh, heck no. And then they're like, Operation Take Over. And then the entire country just collapses. But coastlands like definitely just like a menace to society though. Like they will try and take out anyone in their way other than England, Tremor and Michigan because they are the stronger ones. Because they're number 4. They can't go through England, Michigan and Tremor. Okay? People are like, but then some countries are like, we need to stop coastlands expands. Mainly Michigan because coastland is really close to beating them in size. Which is very bad for coastland. Because they are much weaker. But England and Tremor are actually in on this plan as well. So they get some of their allies. Michigan and Tremor get North Tremor into this. And then England gets Poland and Jaya in on the plan. And some other countries decide to join in on the plan, like specifically Toronto Brook because they hate this. And West Mexico ends up finding out all of this information. Oh. Ooh, you might be cooked. Right, I was like, oh hell no, they opened that door wide. They knew I was making a video. But Toronto Brook was especially in on that plan. But they end up getting Mexico in. And as I was saying, West Mexico got the files and they actually told Coastland. Now flip you, Mexico. Not you, Mexico. This Mexico. The West Mexico. Right. But Coastland finds out and attacks every single country on their borders that is in on the plan. And so, a new era has begun. England was only in on the plan so they could get the area that looked bad on the map, which was this section, which had England having this taken out. Mexico did this because they wanted coastline. Toronto Brook just wanted flat out independence and not be a part of what happens. They end up moving their capital to the Yucatan Peninsula, but they still fight hard here. They have half their military on Toronto Brook right now, which I would say is pretty unfair, to say the least. They're just trying to keep their state to themselves instead of letting it go, which is a terrible strategy. Especially when you have two countries that are stronger than you on your borders. And then Michigan's like, oh heck no. I'm not taking any land. One bit at a time. Brook is getting absolutely destroyed by the whole of the alliance. Michigan ends up doing this at last. Like, at least Michigan did something. Because they were all in it for the land anyway. England was quick to stop to a halt because they were like, I don't want to get bigger than Michigan, or else this is probably going to happen to me. Because that's the whole reason why Michigan even made this anyway. To make sure they secure their second position in size. So they're making sure that they don't end up being next on the chopping block, so they actually stop fighting. And coastline just crumbles under the pressure and it's like this. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And peace is out with every single one. And in the peace treaty, everybody who got involved in the war got a piece of Florida. And Michigan gets the best serving of the dish. Oh shoot. Why did I say that? At first, Michigan's like, surely we won't get that big of slices. Because Michigan is the strongest, and the reason why this whole thing even happened, they got the big guns. I think the capital will be this one, even if it wasn't that one before, it is now that one. It was easy to decide for Brook because they literally border. So obviously this was going to be what they got. They were expecting this bit, but that was going to someone else. Mexico was disappointed because they did not get any. They didn't even get one major city from that. And they fought hard to get to that coastline. Tremina gets the middle bit, which has a bit of a major city boost, but like doesn't touch the coast, so it's hard to manage. England was next to get a piece. And they were quick to decide to take this bit. Even though they could have chosen the stuff on the other side. Because not only was there more major cities on that side, it was literally closer to where they are than the other one. going to be hard for Poland anyway, because they have to go through Gyre just to get to their splicer anyway. But they chose a slice that was landlocked as well, because everything else was picked. Also, Tremor didn't seem to care, because everyone in the entire place was actually allies with each other. They just have split alliances. Although Toronto and Mexico are the ones that are not in alliances, they are all like close to each other. Wait, did Regis get involved? I don't think they did. Giant took this one. I think that was everyone who got involved. Also, for snitching, West Mexico got a beating. The beating of a lifetime by Mexico. And that's the reason why they didn't get any major cities in the carve up. Because they were getting major cities from Mexico anyway. And they had much more people than the major cities that coastline had anyway. So it didn't really matter. And plus Michigan was saving this moment anyway. Because they knew that West Mexico would say something about what happened here. Like, they just knew that it was going to happen. And Tremor, who obviously also got involved, got a chunk as well. What? I just moved West Mexico's capital to a city literally right next to Tremor. Like, that's a stupid place to put it. Right next to a country that hates you and is also stronger than you. No thank you. At this point, only one country will actually obey their rules, and that's Beckmarch, because they know they are cooked. Anyway, so West Mexico just plonks their capital close to them, just in case they pull a sneak attack. They're not going to put it on the ones that are next to them. Also, I've got to say, West Mexico, don't snitch next time. Don't snitch next time or this won't happen to you. Yeah, damn, Beckmarch got more land now. And this is a crazy looking map anyway. This took 3 episodes to make. Mainly because I'd add stuff in between episodes. Also, Coastland has now moved from 4th, even down to being weaker than West Mexico. And who was 6th in the rankings? No, it was North Tremor. So, they're at 7th behind North Tremor. And to be fair, North Tremor is in such a worse position than Coastland. And they ended up being stronger because they were being funded by their ally, Tremor. Clearly. Coastline's like, we gotta do this. We gotta rebuild the empire. But can't go this way. Also, it's being heavily guarded by every single... Also, both sides being guarded by half the troops of each country. And to put that in perspective, half the troops of Mexico and Tremor on their own is still twice as strong as Coastland anyway. They're definitely living apart without me, but, like, I'm gonna finish this episode first. Okay, I've got to quickly end this episode with something exciting. Hold on, let me do something. Gotta go quick. Sharty me hearty. A new really small country has just dropped. And their major cities are barely any. Yay! They just have this. Alright, bye.